Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Pia and I am, as always, so very happy that you're joining me here today for a little chat about yarn and knitting. Today's episode is going to be mostly about dream knits, not in this grand, I'm making an heirloom piece kind of way, but more like what's going to go on my needles next. Because I have finished Peter's sweater. Yay me! I have almost finished it. Obviously, I need to weave in the ends. I mean, obviously. But I also think that I'm gonna have to pick out the bind off on the neckline and rework it to become a much more stretchy bind off, because I was so concerned with the structure of the sweater and the weight that this neckline had to carry. So I bound off like really tightly, and he is struggling to get it over his head. So I am probably gonna have to rework that one so it will be easier for him. It is right now blocking, it is drying. It has taken forever to dry. I thought it would be ready to show you. It is still wet enough that I'm not totally comfortable starting pulling it up and handling it. So I took a photo. Returning viewers will have seen this sweater so many times, but in case you're new here, welcome. I really hope that you will like it here. This is a sweater that I made for my husband. I cast on Father's Day, and now I finished it. Next week, I am going to show it with a man inside. I'm going to put it on Peter and bring him on the podcast so that you can see the totally finished sweater. But until then, I am going to need a new project. I mean, I have lingering whips that I could pick up, but that's not what I'm in the mood for. I'm in the mood for the new and shiny. The only active whip I have right now are my stripy socks. I finished one. I just need to put in an afterthought heel. And I started the next one. I have prepared this for my social knitting. So I have made the Picot cast on, which is really fiddly, and I have worked the ribbon and started the stripes. So now this is ready as my to-go knit, my on-the-go knit, going out thing. And that's how I got one sock done. So I'm pretty sure that the other one is gonna follow. But that's not enough to keep me satisfied. It will keep me satisfied when I'm out and about, but when I'm at home, I need something, as I said, new and shiny. So I have a couple of ideas that I wanted to share with you, and maybe you would let me know in the comments below what you think should go on my needles next. The first idea I have is this perfect little cardigan, one of my own patterns. All the patterns that I'm going to talk about will be linked in the description box below. But this is a perfect fit cardigan that just has a compound raglan and some faux cabling and some ribbing on the sleeve, and very classic, very easy to use cardigan. I use this one all the time. I could really use another. And I have the yarn for it. I have some gray fingering weight merino. This is from Yarn Bee, and I have had it forever and ever. I think I bought this the first time I was in Texas. And then last time I was in Texas, I bought this magpie mohair in the color Smoke and Mirrors, and I just think that these two would go together so beautifully and just make a cardigan that I could use forever and ever. So that's the first contender. Next is, I really love vests. I use my vests all the time. So I have ideas for 2 different vests. The first one is this. It's my birthday vest. It's a pattern that I made for my birthday back in 2019, like pre-pandemic years. And yeah, I love it. It's a free pattern on my blog. I will link it, but it is not translated into English, and it only comes in a very limited size range. So I was thinking I could reknit this, and as I was knitting, I could translate and I could expand the size range. I don't know that I have time for a lot of computer work, but it would be fun, and I would knit it in this magpie fibers again. I don't know. I have a thing for magpie right now. This is their Nest Worsted, which is a non-superwash Corriedale, and it's the Mold Castaway colorway. So it's beautiful. I don't know if the yarn is maybe too busy for the pattern, but you know, I have yarn. I can find another yarn if that turns out to be the case. This was just what I was thinking because it's so yummy and absolutely wonderful. So second contender, but that I'm willing to change the yarn on this one. Then I have seen recently in a shop a t-shirt slash sweater slash vest. It was a brioche short, very oversized, boxy fit sweater, but it was cropped and it had very short sleeves. So it actually, to me, looked more like a vest. It would be something that I would wear over a shirt or a t-shirt, for that matter, a long sleeve t-shirt. And I have been looking through Ravelry, as you do, for a pattern that I could use, and I stumbled upon this pattern that I cannot help myself. Just look at the retro vibe, isn't it? I remember this photo. This was back in the 80s at some point, and I know for sure that I have seen this pattern before. It is a drops pattern. I would, of course, make loads of modifications, but I think I could get a wonderful t-shirt slash sweater slash vest out of that, and I would wear the thing all the time. The yarn that I would use for it, since it's a drops pattern, I would go with Drops Soft Tweed, helped together with their Kit Silk, and these 2 dark gray colors. That would be pretty. And again, it would be something that I would use all the time. That's a theme. I want stuff that I'm actually gonna wear. I was also going through some of my hand-dyed yarn. I have stopped dyeing yarn, but from the last batch that I dyed, there were some misfit skeins that I had just put aside so that I could over dye them or use them myself or whatever. And isn't this a lovely palette? Wouldn't that make a beautiful first snow up here? This is again one of my own patterns, and the sample I made in these very strict like graphic colors. It was white, black, gray, and then a little pop of some green. But how about this? Wouldn't that be amazing for that pattern? Thank you, Cookie, for reminding me of that pattern. You and I were exchanging some messages regarding that pattern. which brought it back to mind. And when I then saw this, I was like, that needs to happen. I don't know that I'm craving color work though. I don't know, but I would have fun for sure. And I would use up some yarn that was just like, well, that's true for everything that I'm going to show you. I have yarn for all of these projects that I am considering. Not that I have a yarn stash. We've talked about this before. What you see behind me, what I have surrounding me, is not a stash. It is a non-stash, because I've never been the kind of knitter who stashed yarn. I was always the kind of knitter who would get an idea of something she wanted to knit, then go to the local yarn shop and get the yarn, knit the thing, and then, yeah, repeat. And that was how I saw myself. So I would always say, no, I don't have a stash. I'm not a yarn collector. And then I decided this is my non-stash. Anyway, I have one more idea. I have talked about this before. It's the prismatic sweater. I think it's so beautiful. I would probably knit it as a t-shirt. I have yarn for it, or I have a medium gray for the body. I have a dark charcoal gray for the outline. And then I just need the perfect neon green or a neon yellow variegated colorway for the color work up here. And I am actually going to a yarny event tomorrow, so who knows? I just might find the perfect yarn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different projects that I cannot decide between. Do you ever get in that situation, or are you always clear about, okay, when I finish this, I'm gonna cast on this and I'm then gonna knit that? It's creative overload. I just want to knit all the things, which, I mean, I don't have a huge amount of knitting time during this fall, so maybe that's why all the ideas are coming, because I know I won't have time to knit it all. But anyway, yeah. A perfect little cardigan, a birthday vest, a brioche sweater slash t-shirt slash vest that I would really love. Small stars in all these gorgeous misfit colors, or the prismatic sweater. What to do? Please help me decide between these. I'm sure I'm gonna make a decision, and I'm probably gonna make it soon, because the socks are not gonna keep me satisfied for long. I think I am probably becoming a sock knitter, but more of an on-the-go sock knitter, not so much an sit at home and knit a sock knitter, if that makes any sense at all. Last week we talked about steeking. We were mainly talking about how you would steek a sweater to make a cardigan. But of course you can also, and that is typically what you will do in all over color work, drop shoulder patterns, you can steek for the armhole as well. But there is one more option that I really wanted to mention, because I have often talked with people who have old knits laying around that they're not using, either because the shaping isn't right, or very often it's the neckline that is too tight, or they wanted it to look different. You can totally steek a neckline. If my birthday vest here, if I wanted a V-neck vest rather than a turtleneck vest, it would be so easy. What I would do is I would try the vest on and I would decide how low should my V go. Then I would add a progress keeper here, like a removable stitch marker. I would take off the vest and then I would see, okay, if I wanted to end here, the open V, then I have to go down a little bit because I am gonna add a ribbing. So go down a little bit from where you want the neckline to end. And then you just draw with needles or with some thread, you draw the shape that you want. You pull out your sewing machine and you go around it two times is more than enough. And it's like zigzag just to make sure that there's still some elasticity to the edge. And after that, you just cut out what you don't want. You can just totally cut out this whole thing, pick up stitches and work your ribbing so that you have a beautiful V-neck vest rather than a turtleneck vest, if that is what you were looking for. Yeah, you can use sticks basically anywhere in a garment. Maybe you have an old sweater where there was no shoulder shaping, so it's too boxy. Stick it. Turn it inside out, run your sewing machine over and cut. I mean, just have at it because sticking is so much fun, and I know that for me it has saved lots of sweaters that I wasn't using, that I wasn't happy with. Then I stick them to become something else, and then I could enjoy that instead. If you have any questions or something you would like me to talk about knitting wise here on the podcast, please let me know in the comments below. I really enjoy your questions. And that was it for the creative content this week. If you enjoyed what you saw, please give me a like. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps me grow the channel so that we can be a large, happy community of knitters. For life in general, yeah, we're in Denmark now. We went to Denmark specifically for a big party. Peter's sister and brother-in-law had been married for 25 years, so there was a big party last Saturday, that was just how you want your party to be. The sun was shining, we were hanging out in the garden in small groups, just chatting with people that we hadn't seen for a long time. Everything was very casual, laid back, and we just had the best time. We have been spending a lot of time with our son and his children. Of course, since we're in Denmark, we wanna load up on the kiddie stuff. But we have also been out with my best friend Anne, and us. Wow. And as I said, tomorrow I'm gonna spend the entire day on a fiber festival, I'm so excited for that. I have attended one fiber festival in my life. One. It's just, I don't know. It just never happens. But this time it is happening and I am so excited for that. If you're in Denmark, it's of course Fiftyfabulous that I'm talking about. If you're going, I really hope to see you there. I hope you'll come over and say hi. I would love to meet you. On Monday, we're going back to Italy and we are actually going to take some vacation. Like just the two of us. Maybe we'll go to Florence. Maybe we'll go to the ocean. Maybe we'll just hike the mountains. We don't know yet. Time will tell, but we have decided that we want to take some time just for us to have a lot of fun and just be together, just the two of us. I hope you're all well and safe, that you're happily knitting away. I hope to see you again next week, and until then, keep knitting.